Hey, we're live. Yay, on another day of the Bro Bro Plata. Yo, I'm Ray Highclack. To my right is the awesome man known as Timidenko. Tim, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Ray. How are you? Good to hear it. How do you like my sweater, Ray? You jealous?
I'm absolutely jealous of you, you
Only
son.
reason I wanted it. Only reason I wanted it is because it would make you jealous.
You beautiful, beautiful son of a bitch, you.
No,
How?
I'm kidding. You know why I like it? Couple things. One, I'm an immature man, and the word jacks is funny. Just jacks. That's a funny word. Also, it's a beaver, and beavers are funny animals.
I grew up in that organization as like the son of
Lumberjacks we're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about the Cleveland Lumberjacks, which Tim is wearing a hoodie of that
hoodie.
Cavaliers team store has on their website, and I think at the Q. I don't know. But if you don't know who the Cleveland Lumberjacks are, they're an awesome, legendary franchise from the International Hockey League. And I grew up with them because my mom worked for them from pretty much the beginning until about the early 2000s. Probably 99 if I'm going to put a stamp on it. Yeah, man, I love that team. It's one of my favorite hockey teams of all time is the Cleveland Lumberjacks. I love the Cleveland Lumberjacks so much.
I just love this logo, man. This is a good logo.
I believe, and you probably won't be able to guess this, but I'll give you a chance to. What do you think the mascot's name was?
I don't know, Bucky. I don't know.
It started with a B and a U, but it was actually Buzz.
I'm gonna say that's my guess is Buzz.
Buzz the Beaver. And he used to come out on the four-wheeler that they had at the Q for like basketball games and stuff. Buzz would ride out on that during the introductions of like the players, and they had this big inflatable, like that logo that you have on your shirt was a big inflatable that they skated out from underneath. It was a dope time, man. Like the Lumberjacks when they were in business was awesome until the late 90s, until the Browns came back. That's when like hockey died in this town because like the Lumberjacks enjoyed a time of prosperity because of the fact that the Cleveland Browns were not a team in the NFL at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing happened with the Indians. I mean, that's when they had their consecutive sellout record. It was a record for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that time when the Browns went around as far as being an Indians fan, like you couldn't get in there, man. Like it was It was tough, and there was before there were a lot of internet resales. There were some, but not a lot. But it was tough to get in there, man.
Yeah, you'd have to go through a lot of times if you're going to like a Cleveland Indians game or even a Lumberjacks game at times. The old school ticket brokers that used to have like their own offices, and they'd go and like buy like 1,500 tickets and like sell them for like half the price. They would scalp them, but they would do it in an office building pretty much.
Right. Or you had to go to the places that have Ticketmaster locations on their computer, like a grocery store, like a department store sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Kohl's had them. It was weird. I think weird places that you can get Ticketmaster tickets.
Oh, man.
Let's talk about fights, Ray.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, we should if you're talking about tickets being sold, there's none this weekend because it's all going to be pay-per-view buys. In UFC 255 is this weekend as well, as we will be also discussing last weekend's fights between RDA and Paul Felder on this show. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to give us the thumb. Please stick it wherever you want, but give us the thumb.
Wait, what?
And then
okay,
the thumbs up, I hope. Yeah, if it's down, then we have a problem.
Ray will take any thumb you need.
Yes, as long
to take it, he'll take it.
As long as you just give it a nice kiss and a lick, we're fine.
Well, now you made it weird. Okay.
But this is the Bro Bro Plata podcast. We are streaming everywhere that you can possibly think and stream. We are on Facebook Live. We are also on YouTube live streams every 3 days. We do this 3 days a week for the people that watch this show. We appreciate you guys. Give us a share too on your timelines because we like to get some people to do a word of mouth for us and help us grow the Bro Bro Plata brand, because I think this is going to we're 38 in. We're almost to 40. We're almost over the hill, sir. It's a weird time to be alive when you're, creeping up on 40 and you've been doing this podcast since July, I think, is when we started doing this.
I don't know. I don't remember. It's all been a blur, Ray. It's been a blur.
You know what else was a blur?
Stop doing commercials. Let's talk about fights.
Well, I was about to say, you know what else was a blur? That whole card last weekend.
Was it? Why? Were you intoxicated the whole time?
I actually was. I fell asleep drunk while watching the fights. I think I got up to the Ashley Yoder fight. Watched a lot of those. Good fights all around. And then I had to go back and watch on ESPN Plus the replays of the last 3 fights. And which one do you want to start off with? Because honestly,
we can start
with a few fights I want to talk about that I have on. What do you want to start with?
Let's start at the top, buddy. Let's start with this badass named Paul Felder. Coming in 3 days notice. What was it? 4 days? I don't know. Whatever it was, man. Goes 5 rounds with Desanios. Then Tuesday, fucking commentates fights on the Contender Series. Wearing a suit with a gash on his face. Badass, man.
He looked like a savage at commentary on Tuesday. I was actually, he looked like a Bond villain. I'm not going to lie, with that gash on his head.
You know what? I don't think anyone really you may have picked him, but I don't think anyone expected too much. Like, I mean, the fact that he went 5 rounds when he wasn't really training for a fight. I think he was training for like an Iron Man or something. And so he wasn't training to fight, and he took the fight on short notice. So just the fact that he made that fight competitive, it was great, and it was a war, man. He didn't win at all. One judge said he did. I don't quite understand what the hell they were looking at. I tried to watch it again and try to even guess, and I have no idea. No idea.
When I heard that somebody had given Paul Felder the fight, because Dos Anjos just was eating him up. You could definitely tell that Paul had a great gas tank going into this fight. He was able to get out of RDA's takedown attempts, even though RDA got a few really good ones. You could definitely tell that the guy was for a marathon. But when he was striking, and we'll get to one of the guys that I want to talk about, he's definitely not a Sean Strickland who just doesn't, do anything and just throws hands like, they're made of stone. But honestly, though, you look at the fight, RDA was definitely dominating Paul Felder in this entire, from pillar to post. And I honestly think it's because he took it on 5 days notice. Rather, I'm not going to take anything away from Paul Felder.
No, for sure. What was really cool is to hear Felder say, even though he was contemplating retirement a couple times, he said after this fight, like the fire was reignited. So he's ready to go. He's going to fight again. So that's good because he was fun to watch, man. Even though he lost, like I said, no one expected a whole lot, except, he fought his ass off, man. And on really short notice against a really tough dude. Hats off to RDA, though. He fought fantastic. And not only that, he was going to fight a wrestler. Then he has to fight Paul Felder, and he completely changed his game plan. And he did, because he took Felder down a lot in this fight. That was not something that he was going to try to do in his previous fight against a guy whose name I can't remember or pronounce. What was his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Well, yeah, he was supposed to fight. Man, we should have known because he was supposed to fight this fight until 3 days before it. So
yeah,
it was the guy. They were supposed to have this fight in the last pay-per-view, and then they got pushed. And then they got Felder to fight. When that guy got COVID, because RDA had it before. So either way, man, RDA looked fantastic, and he had to change his game plan. And he's a beast. He'll be around for a minute, and Felder too, man. They're both 36, and they both got more fights in them in a really tough division. So I'm excited to see them both fight again.
And also, I'm going to say, man, for the RDA, even as my voice cracked on RDA, it was almost like a Scooby voice there. RDA, for being 36 years old, former lightweight champion, back in the division, obviously, because, and I'm going to say this straight up, Just the Habib factor was a big thing in my opinion. Why he went up to 170 after losing.
He also, I mean, to be fair, he also made this choice to move back before Khabib said he's retiring.
But did he though?
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, it's not like he just made this fight a week ago. I mean, that was supposed to be a on the same card, and it was supposed to be a lightweight fight.
Well, I'm aware of that, but do you think that there would have been a title implication off of that?
No, but what you're saying, you're saying that it's because he's afraid of Khabib or something, or he thinks he's not ever going to get to Khabib or beat Khabib. But it doesn't matter, right? But he moved back there anyway. He moved back to 155 anyway.
And I'm not saying anything to like disparage him. The division's going to be 10 times better with him down there to begin with. And I think that's actually a better fighting weight for him than 170. But like, it's just, you look at RDA coming, a lot of guys are flooding back after Habib left, which is hilarious to me. This is like, it's like Lord of the Flies and everybody wants that belt. And who becomes king is going to be the one with the biggest spear, I guess. I don't know how this is going to fucking transpire, but it's going to be interesting. But yeah, man, it's nice to see RDA looking like RDA when he was going for the belt and became champion. Because the 170 RDA, I feel like it was just, he was too slow for that division and didn't really pack the power that I know he is capable of at 155 rather than 170 with way bigger guys.
They just moved. I'm looking at the rankings now. They moved the RDA up to 6. Felder at
well,
it says 8, but okay, there's 2 6s. All right, they're tied for 6 with Oliveira and Dos Santos for some reason. The rankings don't even matter, but for some reason they still have ties. Okay, whatever. And then then they have Felder at 8. So he went from like 6 to 8 or something. But yeah, that's fine. Oliveira is at 6 too. I don't know. I want to see Oliveira fight somebody. He was supposed to fight Darnouche. I don't know if that's still happening or not. I really want to see that fight. Oh, I have a headache, right? I'm okay. I'm gonna try to drink through it.
You're having a stroke. It's okay, buddy.
Dude, don't even joke about it. Dude, I did tell you I have an MRI coming Monday.
Well, hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah, hopefully. But now when you say shit like that, Ray,
leave a comment for the ailing Tim Danko. He seems to be in a world of trouble.
Don't say that. I think we should get worse now.
I think we should have like Save Ferris t-shirts, but it's Save Danko.
I'm sure I'm okay first. I hope I am. So we're talking about the lightweight division now. We might as well.
Yeah.
Habib said he retired. Dana White's not buying it. He's saying he's not going to make the Poirier-McGregor fight, which is official now. They just signed that, I think, yesterday or the day before. They signed on the line the correct contract. I guess Poirier was sending like wrong contracts back to fuck with them. Which is kind of hilarious because he wanted more money, of course. And like I said, we're always on the fighter side usually when it comes to that. But they finally got it done. But White said no, Khabib's going to fight again. And every time they asked Habib was like, I'm 100% done. So yeah, I'm going to believe Habib right now. I mean, at least
I'm going to give him a year.
It's not going to be within a year, which is how long they have to have to defend their belts, a year. Yeah. So it's not going to be within a year. Almost guarantee that.
And I could definitely see a lightweight bout, especially with like a Justin Gaethje, even though he just lost, but Habib retired. So, give him one more shot against somebody else. I honestly think it's going to be Gaethje versus whoever wins between Poirier and I see December being when they pull the belt from Habib. And then
they're way longer than that. I think they still have so much hope.
You never know. I mean, it
seems like it's so funny the way Dana White talks about it. He's so adamant that he's coming back, and the way Khabib is like so adamant that I'm not, though, dude. I told you, right? Yeah. So it should be interesting. I think what's going to happen, maybe I don't know if they're going to pull it or not, but they're going to have Poirier and McGregor fight. I think another big fight in that division is going to be Gaethje. I think Chandler. I think they're going to go get Chandler because I at first thought it was going to be Chandler Ferguson, but I guess that's not going to happen for some reason. Ferguson's not into it right now. However, you hear that kind of stuff all the time, and a lot of times it's plays to get more money, which is fine. So I don't know. Maybe it will happen, but I could see Gaethje Chandler, and that'd be a great fight. Stylistically, that's a great fight. There's a guy, both really tough wrestlers, and also can bang on the feet. So that should be a lot of fun. I hope that fight happens. That's the one I want to see. Or Ferguson and Chandler. Either one's cool. Really.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like with the division the way it is, and also the fact you do throw in that monkey wrench that is Michael Chandler. It sort of it makes the lightweight division the one place to watch in a way out of intrigue more than it is because of the fighters. It's the division itself because of how many guys are running around now in the UFC lightweight division, especially. I mean, Michael Chandler getting anybody, and I hope he does. I hope it is Gaethje versus Chandler, because that's a dream match at lightweight right now going into 2021 that I think needs to happen in that division for there to be what's the word I'm looking for, a pecking order, if you will. Like for Gaethje to show he's one of the top guys in the UFC before Chandler got there, he's going to have to really dominate. And I kind of see it happening, but I also see Chandler being a motherfucker with his speed against Gaethje. Like I see, because Chandler is very in and out striking. So it becomes one of those things where you kind of are like, is this going to be the way? Is this not going to be the way? And is Chandler's foot going to hold up? That's
dude, I don't know. Just thinking about it. There hasn't even been a rumor of this, really. It's just people that are putting pieces together like we are. We're seeing, where guys are and what guys are looking for fights and where Chandler's going to be. It makes sense. That fight makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I hope it does because, like you said, it would be awesome. Really excited. But there's also other guys in that division. You're looking for them to get fights. You haven't fought in a minute, and they're at the top of the division. Dan Hooker, he lost his. No, he won his. No, he lost his last fight to Poirier. That was really close. Before that, he beat Felder. That was right. But Oliveira, man, I'd be looking for a fight for Oliveira for a minute. I don't know, man. All the fights in the lightweight division would be great. I mean, you got Darnoush, he's ranked 12th right now. That doesn't mean a whole lot. No. He's won like 5 in a row, and he's finished everybody. 4 or 5 in a row, and he's finished everybody. So
yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that guy's a monster. I can't wait to see him fight against somebody. It was supposed to be Oliveira. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I don't know. I like to see it. Where are we now on this card? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is the next fight. I think honestly too, though, you got to look at Ferguson or not Ferguson, but McGregor and Poirier as a possible number one or at least challenger fight.
Oh, coming. Probably.
Yeah. It's gonna about 90% at this point. So I'm excited to see how that's gonna go. And then I mean, again, Ferguson too. He's that outlier, but Ferguson after that Gaethje fight, I would say at least take the full year off, man. Like rest your ass.
I bet it's good to go, man. I mean, they were gonna do the Ferguson Poirier fight. They were gonna do that.
I'm aware, but I still don't want to because I think he's gonna get knocked out again. I don't think he's going to show up mentally at 100% after the way he was battered by Justin Gaethje. And I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm just giving my personal opinion.
Do you not know anything about Tony Ferguson, man?
He's a tough motherfucker.
He's an insane person, man. I don't think we'll phase him at all, dude. What do you think he's going to go out there and be timid? No, you fucking know who Tony Ferguson is, man. Tony Ferguson
I do, but you never know with a loss like that.
You know what? Okay, listen. I know. All right. Yes, technically you never do know, but I'm gonna guarantee he's not gonna. What do you think he's gonna come out and look like a bitch? He's gonna look like Ronda Rousey when she fought what's her name?
Amanda Nunes.
Yep, Nunes. I have a headache, man.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Can't remember anything. Yeah, Amanda Nunes. When she fought, and I shouldn't. I said she's. I was saying she looked bad in that fight. She looked fine, but I mean she was timid though. She looked timid.
Yeah.
In that fight. She wasn't the same after the home fight. That's not going to happen to Tony Ferguson, man. No, that dude doesn't have that in his DNA. No, impossible.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm throwing it out.
Telling you that you're wrong. That's what we're supposed to do on this podcast, right?
I'm aware.
Something stupid, and then I tell you that it's stupid.
You're stupid.
I mean, no sports talk anything has been successful with guys being like, "I respect your opinion, sir."
That's garbage.
I respect your opinion, sir. But this is why I believe differently, and then very calmly say why. That's not how you do it. You're like, Gray, you're an idiot, and this is why. That's how you get people to watch, man. Look at all the people watching right now.
One of them. We appreciate it.
Don't tell me. It's not me.
But no, yeah, man, I don't know. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see where the 155 division goes now. Especially now that RDA has made his presence known again.
I mean, there's definitely a little cluster there of like the 4 or 5 guys right there, the cluster. But RDA is one of those guys who's on the outside of that cluster looking in, but he's only like one fight away to be right in there. So he's gonna get a good fight. He's gonna fight somebody tough next.
He's sort of like in the Marvel comic or in the Marvel movies when they said there was an earthquake off the Atlantic. And it was like, it's an earthquake in the Atlantic. We're not going to do anything. That's sort of where RDA is right now. And then next thing you know, he's Prince Namor. Like I think RDA is going to make a huge splash in the next, like probably year and a half with the lightweight division. He'll fight more. He looked pretty as a motherfucker. So he'll be good to go after this fight.
Well, I mean, he also, he's defending a former champion, man.
Yeah.
It's not like this is a big surprise or anything, dude. Everyone knows RDA can fight, man. Is he unbeatable? No, no one's really unbeatable except maybe Habib because no one's beat him. So, but he's very good, obviously. And any fight he's in, you think he's got a pretty damn good chance of beating anybody he fights. So,
by the way, do you know who I think now has a pretty good chance to beat anybody that he fights after his win?
I do, but I'm going to let you say it.
Chaos fucking Williams, man.
Dude, Jesus. This fucking guy, man. Dude, he walks into the octagon. He does this death stare. Like, I mean, it could be the best death stare I've ever seen. It could be better than Diego Sanchez's. Because Diego Sanchez is kind of hilarious, but Chaos Williams' death stare is like, this guy's going to murder this guy. And he didn't fucking blink. Look. The whole introduction, they're saying his name. He doesn't blink. I don't even know how you can do that. He's just doing a fucking staring contest with this dude. He won the staring contest. He won the face-off, right? And then he's fighting this guy, Hassan, who's a monster. And I picked out Hassan to win because he has some big wins, man. He's knocking some tough dudes.
Yeah.
And Williams has only had one fight in the UFC, and he did win by TKO. But obviously, I'm not surprised. Sean Shelby does do his homework. That is his job. And he knew this would be a solid fight. And damn, it was. Because Chaos Williams knocked this dude out in the first round with a great straight right. Man, this guy's terrifying.
I remember what I was doing when I watched this match. I had just woken up from my drunk sleep, and it was like 1:30, and I just click on this because I see, it's like 6 minutes or like 8 minutes. Like I see how long it takes. I skipped through the introductions, which is most of the fucking video. Hilarious enough. And then when he split the guard of Al Hassan with that straight punch and he just goes back like that, I didn't know what happened. Like it was so fast.
Well, it was fast. He slipped it in so quickly. I just saw him fall over. All right. I just waited to the replay to see exactly what he got him with.
I went by the replay, watched it, and then I had to go back. I replayed it like, I don't know, probably 4 times watching this, just making sure that it's a ghost door. We're coming for. You've got like an Indian and a cowboy in there, and they turn alive when you close
Yes, exactly. It's Indian cover. Well, you'll see this tomorrow, Ray. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I like it.
It's an entertainment system center that's empty. There's no record player in it that I don't think works. But it just sits here next to my computer. I sometimes use it as a bar. Sometimes I put my booze in here.
You should actually have that like right behind you, and like have like bottles in it, and the record player just as like a set piece. I think that would be funny as fuck.
You know what though? That would be nice. Like maybe later on, maybe when we start doing upgrades.
Exactly. I like it, my friend.
We're not worth upgrades yet, though, man. We haven't got enough listeners, and we don't get enough. We're not doing well enough. And I actually think our show's getting worse. Sometimes I'm like, I think we're just getting so comfortable now that we just like don't care.
Yeah,
we're not.
That's how the fun starts.
As long as we got to find the medium, right? We got to find that medium and staying on pace. That's why it helps when we have like Harrison here to keep us on track.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be here tomorrow. I haven't double checked, but I think he'll be with us tomorrow.
I'm excited for.
Producer.
That's gonna be a fun podcast.
I'm hoping, man. I haven't gotten any for sure's yet, so
You sons of
confirmation.
bitches. I'll try and find her back up, but yeah,
They'll get back to me.
I was about to say that you mentioned upgrades. Like Chaos Williams needs an upgrade to somebody in the division of equal like power, or at least
the thing though. He fought that Hassan is a monster, dude.
I'm aware, but
no,
like
what I'm saying is they're going to give this guy another monster because they already gave him one. So after one fight, they knew what this guy could do, and he knocked out a guy like Hassan. Dude, they're going to give this guy somebody who can bang.
Yeah, it's going to be somebody that's because I've never because what weight division is this? This is welterweight, yeah.
They're welterweight, sir. Yep.
For a welterweight to crack like fucking Chaos Williams does with just a straight punch like that is insane.
I mean, he's not the only one, but I mean, he hits hard. I'll say that. He definitely fucking hits hard. Dude, you know what would have been a great fight, but Khamzat, man, dude, Khamzat, Khamzat Chimaev, the UFC. It's weird to me how much the UFC loves this dude. I mean, I like that they do. Talking about Khamzat Chimaev, who's won 3 fights in a very quick amount of time, but that's the only 3 he's fought, and a couple of them were at middleweight and against okay guys. I mean, he knocked out Mershant, who's very good, but he's not a top 15 guy. And now they're giving him Leon Edwards. That's in 2 weeks. Man, I hope Leon Edwards schools a kid, man. It's not going to hurt him any if he does.
No.
Which is a weird, which makes it a really weird matchup for Edwards because he's got more to lose than anybody.
Yes.
Because I don't think they're going to give him a title shot after beating Khamzat, although they should because he's up there and he's just been waiting for a fight. Anyway, this is the first name I saw in the rankings. I'm looking at other people I like to see. Our man, Chaos Williams fight. Oh, Pettis wouldn't be bad. That'd be a good step up for him, Anthony Pettis.
Yeah, Anthony Pettis, especially on the striking, I think can really be a little bit more crisper than.
I need a better list. I need a page with a better list of the roster because the only one I'm looking at right now is the top 15. Right, I kind of wish they would give us like a top 30, so we could. It would just be good for us to look at it and be like, oh yeah, this guy's good. This would be a good matchup. But I just have to find a page with a better list of the roster. Because like, at the top of my head, I can't really think of anybody. But if I saw the names, I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy. That'd be good. But I'm looking at all these guys in the top 15. I don't know if they're going to give them a top 15. I doubt it. But I don't know. Maybe somebody towards the bottom. I mean, Pettis would be fun. Bilal Muhammad, that'd be good too. Luke A. Yeah, I don't think he's going to give him any of those. Jeff Neal. Dude, Jeff Neal needs to fight somebody. That's not his fault. But, like, dude, Jeff Neal had to go back to work. He had to go back to waiting tables, right?
That sucks.
I kind of want to go to this restaurant. I just want to go see Jeff Neal.
Is it doing better than what's his name's restaurant? The Big Rig or whatever his name was.
Joe Riggs?
Hendricks.
Oh,
Johnny Hendricks.
Johnny Hendricks had a restaurant?
Yeah, he had a barbecue restaurant, I guess, or something like that. That just that didn't end well.
Oh, restaurants are tough, dude.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, some people get some money and they're a little bit famous, like maybe like some athletes, like Johnny Hendricks or whatever. They like, oh man, restaurant would be cool, right? But dude, those things are fucking tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really tough.
There was I'm gonna add my wrestling take for the show.
Of course you are.
There's a guy named Abdullah the Butcher who had a restaurant in Atlanta for like decades. And it was a barbecue joint, and I think you could also get your hair cut there.
Oh, what is it? There was is it a meme or GIF? I guess. Well, it's a short video, like a looping video with sound. And it was it's a guy dancing out in front of a strip mall, like barbecue place, with like some inflatable animals and like some people in costumes, just dancing and going like, I forget the name of the place, but let's call it Walters. That's our go-to fake name for things. It's like Walters barbecue and foot massage, and like I wish I could find it.
I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, you probably saw it, man. It went all around the internet for a while. That's barbecue and foot massage. I'm like, that sounds fantastically terrifying. Like, I don't think I want to eat barbecue where there's like people's feet are out. It's gross.
Dude, speaking of fantastically like thing, that video I sent you, and it's a video that dude that Russian hockey player knocking out that guy with one punch I think I sent you that video.
I didn't watch it though.
Oh my God.
Do you not have it for us, Ray? You can do that, man. I'm paying for it, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, I can bring it up. It's
okay.
I think
you know what? Let's just talk. We got too much stuff going on. You have fights to talk about.
Well, agreed.
Are we going to talk about the card, tomorrow's card? We're going to do that tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, I thought that was what we were doing. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk a little bit today, but mostly we'll give picks tomorrow.
Yeah. Because the UFC 255 is tomorrow.
I have some fights to watch for that, man. I need to watch the first Shogun Paul Craig fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably watch that after the stream, and kind of talk about the first fight, which I'm gonna put up a video on our thing, probably breaking down that first fight, and then talking about how things can change. On our YouTube, so go to our YouTube page, Bro Bro Plata, and subscribe to that, as well. Yeah,
do it. So eventually the show's gonna be. I'm kind of looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to how the show's gonna evolve and change. I don't know how it's gonna happen, how it's gonna be yet, because like we said all the time, we're just getting our reps in, right?
Yeah,
we know the show's not gonna be great right now. We'd like some people to pay attention. We love everybody who does, but we plan on getting better. We're going to get more guests and whatnot. And I think eventually we're going to have guests on almost every show. I think that's more entertaining than us every time.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm cool with it, man. Have fun with it. That's fucking bullshit with you. But I think it's more fun for everybody if we have some other voices in every once in a while to at least make picks or stuff. We have people call in and make picks or, man, we can figure something out.
I also think that doing streams of the actual like pay-per-views, if we're watching them together, would be a fun thing as well. Just that way we can react together. We have 2 mics, so we can actually use the USB ports, fucking more than 2. So that's a nice thing. But yeah, man, I like doing this show. It's a fun time. And I do want to talk though about a guy who we both said was scary as fuck, who fought last week as well. And that is Sean Strickland. Gave an old school ass beating to Brendan Allen.
This is a huge win for him, man. This is a really big win, man. He just beat up Jack Marshman. 2 weeks later, he takes out Brendan Allen, who's a really tough dude. Brendan Allen has a win against Kevin Holland. He has a win. I forget, man. Who else has wins?
One of the palest fighters I've ever seen in my life, too.
Yeah, like, he's one of those guys. I watched him like these are both white guys, right? Because like they were like 4 shades different.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like when Brendan Allen got hit by Sean Strickland on that first straight down the middle that kind of snapped his head back. All of a sudden Brendan Allen's face looked like a tomato. Like I was expecting like Gallagher to just smash it with a fucking sledgehammer and it go into the first like 3 rows. That was Gallagher. He went beat red. Like he was embarrassed that hit him. Like what the fuck? That's how white he is, dude. Like what the like I love a lot of pale fighters. To me are the best because it's almost like they are video game characters. Like you can see the damage on them a lot easier. And it's like in the UFC, like UFC games, you can start to see the legs get red. What are you trying to
say, man? Like light. What would they say? Light-skinned brothers don't show no damage. Is that what you're trying to say? Put it up. Put it in quotes. Ray Highclock says, "Light-skinned brothers don't show no damage."
Wait, I'm looking at the wall. I'm looking at the wall, and I'm seeing nothing but projection by Mr. Tim Danko.
No, you said this.
Seeing a projection here. I need the next slide.
You said dark-skinned brothers. I'm sorry, I missed it. It was dark-skinned brothers. That made more sense what you're saying. Because light-skinned people show more damage, you say. So he says dark-skinned brothers don't show no damage.
Why are you making me out to be a Trump supporter? Why are you making me out?
What? No. You know what? That's
by that I mean
for someone to say if it wasn't us. Like we can't say that, but other people can. That's basically what you're saying. If you're saying light-skinned people do, that means just that the darker people don't. That's okay. Basically, what you're saying is that black don't crack. That's what you're saying. Put it up. Quote. Put in the quotes. Right. Hot Clock says that black don't crack because he's a racist.
See, this is why we lose interviews because you say I'm racist. Like
we haven't lost any interviews because we may have. We may have lost one because of our content. We lost one probably because of our content. That's probably true.
Probably. I'm not gonna lie. Luckily, some of it, whatever. That's when you're first starting out. It's quite fun.
You know what? That was the Lenny Hart interview, the Pride lady. I told our buddy Andrew Law that, who I think we're having on tomorrow. I said to him, like, oh yeah, man, we got stood up. He's like, dude, he said something like, dude, just keep at it. Someday you'll be able to stand her up. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's a good attitude, man. That's the kind of attitude you need to have, right?
That's one reason why, even though I've never met Andrew face to face, like I love that dude, because there is like a Big Lebowski quality to him, where like nothing. He is we can just start calling him the bro instead of the dude. He is the bro, and like he's like a Rob Van Dam, very high and always zen, man. And I
not
like
high,
him.
Dude, he's a fighter. He's not allowed to smoke marijuana.
Well, obviously, I'm just talking about high on life, sir.
Right.
Gotcha. We're making. But yeah, man, Andrew's, and that's why I think Andrew also has had the longevity he has, is just because his positive outlook on everything. You know, it's quite fun. And thank you for turning me into a racist, Tim Danko.
And he's gotten some of that from me. We'll get him to say that, because I've often given him life advice back in our younger days, and he will tell you that I'm most likely right most of the time. Most of the time, I'm usually right. I've told him a lot of things. I'm like, dude, you need to get rid of this person in your life, man. It's usually some ex-girlfriend he had that was crazy. I'm like, dude, it's not working. And then eventually he'd be like, you're right. I'm like, yeah, so there you go. That said, his wife is awesome. Kelly's fantastic. He's an awesome wife, and he's very lucky to have awesome people around him.
I do want to talk about something as well. What do you got to talk about?
I was going to say, I was just looking at this list here. I'm looking if there's anybody in the top 15 that maybe they'll give a Sean Strickland, excuse me, because Allen was pretty close. So I'm looking like, man, Sean Strickland. And this is, I don't think this fight will happen. By the way,
this is the guy that took what, 2 years? Sean Strickland took what, 2 years off?
Yeah,
or something like that.
He took a while off, but then he fought 2 weeks in a row. All right, so that's
I mean, it's insane.
Brad Tavares, I think that's good. Brad Tavares would be nice.
Yeah, Tavares would be a good challenge for him.
14th, I think. Yeah, I was about to say Shabazian, but I didn't think they'll give him that one, although I'd like to see it. But Tavares, I could see that happening.
Yeah, and what I like about Sean Strickland is he's almost like a cowboy in a way, like a cowboy Cerrone when he throws his punches. It's not a lot of hip movement. He's just flinging them out there and connecting a lot. Like he's connected on a lot of his combinations that put Allen away. It's impressive to see a guy like him who again took 2 years off. 2 years off. If I took 2 years off of comedy, I would suck worse than I did when I first came in, and that sucked. That was terrible,
man. It does happen, man. When you take a while off, man, it feels like it's weird. It's like anything else. I mean, if you didn't shoot if you're a basketball player, you didn't shoot for 6 months. That's the first time you shot. You take you a minute to get it back, right? And even then, they have muscle memory, right? You don't really have that in comedy. Well, I don't know. It's probably something kind of like that. I don't know. That's a whole other conversation, I guess, about comedy. But where are you going to go, buddy? You're going to go somewhere before I stopped you.
Before we went on the air today, there's been some news everybody's following about everybody's favorite racist. Yay!
Wait, is it
Perry.
you? All right, I'll stop calling you.
No, I'm not everybody's favorite racist. I'm everybody's least favorite racist.
Ray is the second least racist person in the world. Number one is obviously Donald Trump.
Yeah,
he said so.
I'm the least racist person that I know. That's how I know that I am the least racist person in the country. I know it.
That is impressive. Okay, so what are we talking about?
Mike Perry.
Oh, yeah.
I took the news story off of MMA Junkie in the thing. Let's put the overlay here.
You just want to read it?
Yeah, and it says on the main card of UFC 255, what's that? Well, publicly laminating his weight, or laminating? Is that laminating? Lamenting. I can't read today. His weight cut earlier in the day on social media did Mike Perry. What was your thoughts? Did you follow him on Twitter? All the shit he was spouting. And just kind of the laziness that was what it was. It was stupid. It was ridiculous what this dude's saying. All this shit talking that this guy does, and I'm for shit talking.
About what was that today? I mean, I saw him saying some things like he may not make weight.
Yeah, one of the things, I'll bring it up on his Twitter here, because I think I have it open on my phone to Mike Perry. If I don't, then I can just go to Mike Perry. Mike Perry. Yes, Platinum Mike Perry. One of the first things that was sent out, which was 12 hours ago, it was, I'm sorry, man. I don't think I can make it. And this is during weigh-ins. Like, I believe Tim Means was third, is what the article on MMA Junkie said, to show up in the day when the weigh-ins were happening. Mike Perry came in at 4.5 pounds overweight today, and his Twitter feed's hilarious to me. Something else that he wrote, which was, I've always talked trash during weight cuts, so that if I couldn't make it, I could say I told y'all I wasn't sure. Maybe I've outgrown this. I did try to ask for a fight at 185, but maybe I just don't have it anymore. I'm so thankful to all the kind people at the UFC. I don't know what kind of meth he's smoking today, but it's
we all know
definitely
that guy's a little whack, right? I don't really know what I exactly say what I mean by that. I'm not going to say he's completely unstable because I don't know that, but he's a little whack, a little whack. I mean, all fighters are, but this guy especially, man, he's a little, man, he scares me. He does.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he just got in trouble for sucker punching somebody, right?
Yeah.
And then
using like super offensive shit in public too.
Right. Yeah. Does that too. Like you said, favorite racist. And no, also those things that I love, like he is entertaining and he is a good fighter. And the thing he did with his girlfriend last fight is hilarious, that he only came to the fight with his girlfriend as his corner, who's not a fighter at all.
No.
And I heard this fight, she's pregnant and she's going to be one of his corner again. And also one of his buddies who's not a fighter is going to be. So that'd be like, if like,
I thought Darren Till was also trying to corner.
No, yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he was thinking about it, but he didn't make the cut. Apparently, it's just going to be his pregnant lady, and which I don't know how pregnant she is. So this is going to be funny if she had a baby bump when she's cornering him. I don't know why I think that's funny. It's not really, because I mean, if another fighter was cornering someone and she happened to be pregnant, it wouldn't be weird. If the corner person, I mean, the fighter is pregnant, that'd be different. But I mean, the corner person, it wouldn't be that weird, because like women get pregnant and they can fight, they can do both, right? So
yeah.
But I guess it's funny that he just brings his girlfriend in who's not a fighter, and his buddy who's also not a fighter. That means I want to be a UFC corner man now, dude. Like I follow the sport, but I'm not a fighter or a trainer. So, dude, I can do it.
Yeah, I think you would be a great corner man. You just use the bag of ice on the back of the neck. I think you would get awards for it too, which would be nice. Sure. I wouldn't trust you as a cut man because we all know.
Well, the big promotions have their own cut man. Oh, okay, I got you with my shaky hands. I got you. No, that's fair. My shaky Tourette's hands. Not my shaky alcoholic hands. I'd probably be drunk when I'm doing that. Old school cornerman, he's taking shots before it. My God, he's got a cut. Chug from the flash. All right, here we go.
You hand him a thing. You hand him a nip.
You hold on to this. Shoot.
No, it's the drinking.
Oh, you drink that.
Numbs the pain, kid.
There you go. Back in the day, probably did. Shoot, I forgot the point I was going to. Oh, I was going to say that I almost did corner once because my brother, before I took a fight, was going to take a fight, but he only had so much time because he was home from work. And because he worked abroad, well, yeah, I mean, I guess that means out of the States. But he worked.
What was her name?
Ryan, that's his lady. He met her on the road actually, and they met in North Dakota. They met in North Dakota, and then she came here. Then now they're together. They have 2 kids together, and yeah, it's a pretty interesting story actually. This is a chance.
He met abroad. It's quite nice.
He did. Anyway, he was working in other parts of the country. He comes home for a little bit, decides he wants to take a fight. We get him a fight, and I was going to corner him. However, his opponent got hurt. I still might give him crap, like, oh, you're afraid to fight, and I wasn't. He's like, dude, it wasn't my fault. It really wasn't his fault. He was going to take the fight. It just his opponent couldn't fight, and he ended up not having enough time to find somebody new or something. They couldn't find anybody, and then he had to go home. He had to go back to work or whatever. So anyway, that was a terribly told story of the time I almost cornered somebody. But.
And scene.
That's good.
But
world's worst monologue.
I mean, I read an article. I don't really think, just because of the fact that he does draw so many eyes, that Mike Perry's now on the bubble because he missed weight, which I think is a stupid argument, really. People pay to see Mike Perry get beat up, or want to see Mike Perry get beat up.
And you don't forget this: the dude is talented.
Like, yeah,
he definitely can fight. It's not like he can't. He had lost fight, but he loses to tough people.
He beat Nicky Gall with positive support. Like, that's all he did.
Yeah, with his girlfriend saying, "You're doing good. I love you," and then kicking ass. Hey, good job. Hey, you know what? She is an undefeated corner woman.
She is.
So there you go.
She's the first ever
she has a UFC win as a corner woman.
Yeah, and she's never amateured either. That's the funny part.
Go.
Like, she's got more than most women can ever say. I mean, War Machine's girlfriends probably have a worse record.
Right. I mean, I have friends that have cornered lots and lots of fights, high double digits probably, and they've never had a UFC corner or a UFC win. Right?
No. So
there you go.
But Mike Perry missing weight. I honestly think this will just be a non-thing. I see I see him beating Tim Means in this fight.
I do too, unfortunately. But dude, I'm pulling hard for our boy Dirty Bird.
Yeah,
pulling hard.
I want him to definitely put some misery and be the Dirty Birdie on fucking Mike Perry for just all the shit Mike Perry's done. Like, we're not all clean people, but Mike Perry is an extra special kind of scum.
I was looking up how to bet on fights again, just looking. But you know what we need to do sometime, Ray?
Yes.
We're gonna watch card together tomorrow. You're coming down. We're gonna watch the card. We need to go to the casino. Wheeling Island is open. They have a sports book. They're going to be showing the fights, right? Because you could bet on them. So we need to go down to the casino down Wheeling Island.
Yes,
and watch the fights. Because I was thinking, sports betting isn't legal in Ohio yet, but it is in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. So you can go through DraftKings or any site. You can even go through what the casino uses. Their people on the internet, but you have to be physically in the state. So you have to physically be in Pennsylvania or West Virginia to place the bet. So I was looking at the fastest routes for me to get to West Virginia. I think the quickest is about an hour. It takes about an hour to get to Wheeling from where I am.
Yeah, I was about to say 70. 77.
Well, 77 to 70.
Yeah,
you go east, 70 east. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I pop up 77, get to 70 east, and it takes you right there. So it takes about an hour. But going to casino though, I've never done that, right? Because we've never had sports betting, and I've never been to Vegas or Atlantic City, so I have never bet through a sports book before. But I probably will.
I know some. I want to use some of the websites I know of. I would love to use.
They go through the Caribbean stuff now. If you have to go for Ohio, but if you're in Pennsylvania or West Virginia, you can just do it through the state there. So I don't know. It's weird. You can bet through the Caribbean in Ohio, but you can't bet through West Virginia being in Ohio. That's weird.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, you can physically be there. So if we stepped over the border, we could place a bet.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you have to be there to claim your bet. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out.
My question to you, since we're both gamblers, I've
been pretty good lately, man. I haven't gambled in a minute, so
neither have I. Haven't had the money to.
But at the same time, I plan on doing it again.
Me too.
I will place a bet again.
What is one of your biggest gambling regrets you have?
This is a pretty easy one, actually, because I really tried to get it done. I tried to find someone to take this bet really hard. because I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any websites. I tried to ask people I know for their bookies. I'm like, do you have someone, like, do you know a bookie that will take this bet for me? So how much you want to bet? I'm like, I want to bet $300. I'm like, because I like this bet. It wasn't that long ago. It's a couple years ago. It was Cody Garbrandt's first title fight against Dominick Cruz.
Okay.
Because I thought the line was shifting because of the way Cody was talking about the fight. And I thought if I had ever had any inside information, I really don't, that I'm like, that's how he pumps himself up for a fight. Like, he's not going to be over zealous or something for this fight against Dominick Cruz. Although in the future, it seems like he kind of was for fights, but this fight, he definitely wasn't. He fought fantastic. He fought patiently. He fought amazing against Dominick Cruz. And I mean, I think it was like 1+150. I mean, he wasn't a huge underdog for someone. I mean, he's fighting Dominick Cruz, who hasn't lost in a long time.
Yeah,
but he was an underdog. Maybe it was 190. I don't know. It was decent, and I definitely wanted that. I tried hard to try to find someone to take that bet. So that's it. That's the only one I can say because I actually tried to find someone to take that bet.
Oh, that's all. Like, that's actually a really good one. Because I would have probably bet on Dominick Cruz in that fight. I thought he was going to kind of school him a little bit. Yeah. And then when Cody came out like the brick shit house that he was in that fight,
I was pretty confident. Like, I barely had $300 then. Like, that was probably, I think at the time it was like half the money I had, which was not very smart, which I wouldn't, we're not very smart, but I was pretty confident.
I can imagine.
So that has to be the one, because it's the only one that I really tried hard to find someone to take that bet, and I couldn't find anybody to take it.
The ones that I have that I'm sad about the most, one is an MMA one. What?
Quickly, I will say this about mine real fast before you go to yours. This was a few years ago. This was before I think they even passed like gambling in West Virginia. So this would have been one that I would have went to West Virginia because I was looking so hard to find somebody. I would have drove an hour and placed a bet in West Virginia for this fight. Nice. Probably because of how bad I wanted to place a bet. That's a good question because there is a clear one for me, and it was that one because I really wanted to place a bet, and I was actually disappointed before the fight even happened. So it would have been one of those that if I lost, I would have felt fine about it. Like the last bet I made was on an Ohio State football game last year, and I lost. It was a Clemson game, and I still felt good about the bet because I think they were actually getting 2 points, and I thought they were going to win that game, and they should have, but they lost. So I didn't feel bad about it.
My two that I have, the one that I like is a hindsight bet just because I got all of these right on like Tapology, was I should have bet the card for UFC 210. Mm-hmm. I won by like I think 1 or 2 points on Tapology in the group Addicted to UFC, which I'm in. And yeah, man, it sucked because I was like, oh no, how did this? Why didn't I I could have bet on this. I picked everyone right just as a whim. That's my hindsight pick. My one that I really regret is the 2016 Stanley Cup Finals, where the Pittsburgh Penguins won their first Stanley Cup since 2009. And it was against San Jose because the next year was against Nashville. I wish I would have put a bet down for the Pens in 6. That's the one because I wanted to be like Pens was going to win the Stanley Cup 6 games, and I'm going to put this amount of money down and go from there. Because I would have put probably a good $300, $400 down on that bet because they were so good that year, and like they were kings of that league for 2 seasons, and that 2016 run was like the Red Wedding. Like it was especially game 6. Game 6, there was no chance, absolutely no chance the Sharks were going to beat us.
When you make that bet in 6, does that mean you would have made that bet before the series started? Okay. Does that mean it has to be exactly 6?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a tough bet.
I would have parlayed that, probably put about 200 or like 100 down on that prop bet.
That's probably a plus bet then, right? Because it's 6. That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing was, like, we went to game 7 in 2009 against the Red Wings. And then in 2000, and then 16 was kind of just like we walked into the finals. Like we walked into the Stanley Cup finals, like sweeping everybody, including, or was that 2017? No, 16 was when we swept.
My favorite teams won so many championships that I can't keep them apart.
We won only 5. We're not one of the greatest organizations to ever. Dude, the Montreal Canadiens have like 20 plus championships.
Dude, Ray, I'm just talking you and me. All right. Just talking you and me. Okay. My favorite teams, my favorite basketball team won a championship that same year in 2016.
Yeah.
About right about the same time. And I'm very grateful for that. It's the only time we ever got close. Oh, and that's not true. Not close. I mean, we've been close. We were close 3 more years with LeBron. Yeah. But yeah.
And then with the Indians.
Yes, with the Indians, we got close. You're right. That same year, 2016.
Yeah.
Man, that was the toughest one because I did say my favorite sports teams. It goes Indians, Browns, and then Cavs. A little bit lower, but still love the Cavs. They're still my third favorite professional sports team. I think Ohio State's probably higher than the Cavs too. But in football, Ohio State football is probably right where the Browns and Indians are. Maybe a little below the Browns. But the Cavs are definitely lower, but I love them to death. So it was awesome. It was great. But I told you a million times about the World Series in 2016.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was nuts. It was fun. I'm glad I got to see it, but man, it was nuts.
It was the only time I've ever rooted for a Cleveland sports franchise in my, how can I put this? My formative years.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause like when I was like a kid, little kid, like 7, 8, I was an Indians fan because my dad would take me out of school every year, go to the opening day, and then we'd go to the Lumberjacks. Ironically, the Lumberjacks would have their fan appreciation day on the same day as the opener, so you could just walk in between. It was great. Fuck it. It was packed. It was like 12,000 people at a hockey game in Cleveland. Oh,
Ray,
those days.
Why is that ironic, Ray? It's coincidental. It's not. It's coincidental.
Yeah, but did I say ironic?
Yeah, you just say ironic.
Don't you?
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not trying to give you crap for using the words wrong. I try to do it all the time. It's okay. But that's one though. That's one ironic and coincidental. Because like, remember when Paul Walker died? People were saying it was ironic.
No, it was ironic because it was
coincidental, man. It wasn't. What's ironic? Why would it be ironic?
Because he made his entire life out of being in a movie that had more crashes than the Dukes of Hazzard.
That would be coincidental.
I would see it sweet irony.
I don't think it's ironic.
I
don't think so.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm looking forward.
We're fighting about vocabulary. That's what we did here in the Bro Bro Plata. Two guys who didn't graduate college.
Yeah, no. I was lucky to get by. I was a No Child Left Behind kind of person. So that's where I was with all that as a kid. But because I was in like those classes with like 4 kids to a class, and like one of them was the smartest, but not by much. Like I was a grading curve at one point, Mr. Danko. What happened to me, sir? What the hell?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's happened to me. Dude, I was like, I used to.
You were a pretty boy.
I won a writing competition when I was in 5th grade. And my teacher actually like brought my parents in because they thought I cheated. They were making sure I didn't cheat because they thought someone else may have written it. And it's funny. Actually, to be true, my mother helped me type it, but I wrote it. But it's funny. Is that because like after that, apparently they made the kids write. It was some book project or some story project they made all the kids do in 5th grade, right? And they picked like a waiter to go to this convention, right? And after that, after my year, they made the kids do it in school because they thought I didn't cheat. I have that book here somewhere. The thing I wrote.
I wrote one, like I remember I had to be like 2nd grade because the book is so dumb. I still have it somewhere in the house. I wrote a book on the history of professional wrestling. And I said that pro wrestling actually started in Japan, not in America. And boy, was my little 5-year-old brain completely wrong. But I watched a lot of Japanese wrestling as a kid. A lot. No, I was probably like 7 when I wrote this book. And it was like, it had pictures of the Road Warriors on it and like Hulk Hogan on one side that like were crudely drawn.
Mine, I have some crude drawings of mine because we had to illustrate it. And I think I even spelled like the word written wrong on my page. So I didn't even get 100% on my book because I spelled something wrong on my page. But I think it's one of the reasons why they thought I didn't write it because I couldn't even spell written correctly. What was I going to say? Oh, mine was about a high school football team. And at the end, they're in a state championship game and the best player in the team actually gets his helmet knocked off and he has a head injury and actually dies. So I actually killed one of my main characters in my
Jesus Christ
in 5th grade. Yeah.
Was his name Billy Ray?
No. I think I saw Varsity Blues at that point. Although that's like right when it came out though, because that would have been like 2000 or not. No, I guess it would have came out a little before then. Yeah, but no. No, there was tits in Varsity Blues, right? So I didn't see that yet. I was in 5th grade. I wasn't allowed to watch those things.
I would see I love. Did your parents were your parents when it came to like videos and movies and shit like that? They were those parents that kind of like turned it off if you showed into the room and everything.
Well, they won't let. I wanted to watch. I mean, I could have watched South Park when it first came out.
Really?
But I don't blame them though. I mean, like I wouldn't let my nieces watch. They've walked on. And my nieces have came over recently. I've been watching South Park on HBO Max, and I walk in and my brother's lady. She's like, my sister's de facto sister-in-law is like, can you pause that? I'm like, I was watching this before they walked in. She's like, I know, but can you just pause it for a minute? I'm like, yes, I can pause it. No, I'm like, that's fair. I'm like,
I can understand.
It was like, I don't remember which episode it was, but it was definitely one that it was like worse than others.
I watched one today that was, I can't even remember what it was about, but it was like a modern day one, not the previous millennium ones, but like the fucking ones in the 90s were crazy. South Park was insane back in the day.
It's weird how they just get away with shit. Like no one's even attempted to cancel him, at least not successfully, because it's weird that it's one of the weird things about cancel culture they're somehow immune. They've been doing the same thing for so long. Like, if people are like, "Oh, let's cancel South Park," people are just going to be like, "Shut up, that's South Park. Leave them alone."
I was about to say they're the best case scenario for like.
Yeah, that gives you hope a little bit, right?
Well, I was about to say for that, like they do both sides. Like
they do everybody.
Yeah, they don't give a shit, and that's why like they walk around like Paul Felder did when he was going into the cage with RDA. They were definitely Randy Marsh with big balls. Like they don't care because I mean, look at their body of work. Like they've been sued by how many people, and yet Comedy Central is like, we have a money maker. This is the money. Yes. Give us. I want Scrooge McDuck levels of cash. I want it all. Like that's exactly what Comedy Central does, and hats off to them for allowing them to do that shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what they did to China was hilarious, man.
Oh my god, the China one.
And they got pissed and they threw the virus at us. So I guess they won.
Yeah. What was the other? Oh man,
even the pandemic special. You see the pandemic special yet?
I have not. I still need to watch that.
Oh, you come over tomorrow. We can watch it before the fight.
I like it. But yeah, I love the old school episode. Like my parents are kind of weird in how they actually like raised me with me. Like my mom was very like conservative in a lot of stuff. Like she didn't like super blood violence, gore kind of shit. She wasn't really that into. She'd watch wrestling if it was like WWF, but that'd be about it. And then, but my dad, this is one reason why I love my dad, because like he had me watching Patton, the movie with George C. Scott.
Okay.
At like 8. Like 8 years old. I remember watching the Great Escape at 8 years old. One of my first movies that I would watch on a regular basis was the uncensored version of Major League that was on HBO at the time. So my dad like ripped it off of HBO.
I love that movie to death. And we've talked about that before, but it's
one of the greatest comedies ever written, in my opinion.
Dude, you're talking about a guy who David S. Ward, who won an Oscar for The Sting.
Yeah.
Right. And he writes a sports comedy, and it's great. There's so many reasons it's great. It's not just because the fact that it's about the Indians, although it does help in my book, but like it's so funny. There's so much funny stuff in there. You're trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball. It's a great on, man.
Have to wake up bats.
That's the characters are amazing in that. That's why I don't like the second one that much. There's people that tell me the second one's better. I think they're ridiculous.
No,
because they change. All they do is they change all the characters.
Yeah,
they made Serrano like a monk now, and like I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
My favorite part about the first one is I can't even remember what the manager's name is, but he's been in like
Brown.
Lou Brown. Lou Brown, and he's just like, Tire World. I'm sorry, Charlie. I got another guy on the line waiting for white walls. I'll call you back.
White walls. Oh, that's great.
I love number 2 is great because of the hospital scene at the end.
That's funny, yeah.
Where he's just like, I fucking love this shit.
Shit, yeah. It's either a leg thing or a knee thing or a psychological thing or a heart attack. Who needs heart attack? Me.
I am.
Yeah, he I forget the actor's name. He passed a while back. But he's so good in that movie.
I love him in Urban Cowboy. He plays the guy
like John Travolta, yeah.
And he literally, his first line in the movie, they're at Gillies in Houston, and all of a sudden you hear, "Hey, bud, how you doing?" And you're like, it's fucking Lou Brown. Fuck yeah, this is gonna be a great movie.
That man, Major League, I've watched it a billion times, and I'll probably watch it a billion more. Man, I mean, when he pisses on Corbin Burnson as Roger Dorn's contract,
yeah. Lou, it tells me that it says in my contract that I don't have to do any calisthenics that I deem fit.
Something like that, yeah. Pisses off his contract.
Randy Newman. Good. Randy Newman in that Burn On is like, every time
around the Hugo River. Yeah, it's a great tune.
Anytime when I dated the girl from Colorado, when I dated Emily from Colorado, which was the last girlfriend I had. That would be the first song I would play in the rental car or in my car as we were like going into the Cleveland. We could start to see the skyline. Like I would always play Burn On because it's a great song, man.
It is, man. I love that intro too. I mean, some long movie intros I kind of get bored with, but like that one, because I'm also from here, right? I'm also from Northeast Ohio. I know Cleveland.
Yeah,
and that's just a great song. And I like Randy Newman. Period. So he's great and nominated for multiple Oscars. I don't know if he ever won one, but he's been nominated for multiple ones.
Yeah, he's been nominated. I don't think he ever.
His last one was the last Oscars. He was nominated for that Toy Story 4 song, but Elton John won for that one he put in Rocket Man, which is really good. Anyway, get off track as always.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's a great tune. That's a great movie. There's a couple more fights I want to talk about.
Well, actually, real quick, we'll end the Major League thing on. I actually have a connection to that movie.
I think you told me this.
Yeah, the nun in the Indians jacket. Yeah. She had known me for until probably I think it was like 10th, 11th grade. She would always come to my cousin's spaghetti dinner at because he was like the leader of a parish out here in Cleveland. And they would do a spaghetti dinner the Sunday after Easter every year. And Sister Mary Assumpta, who is the Indians' biggest fan kind of thing, been recognized over and over for decades upon decades. If you don't know who she is and you're from Cleveland, shame on you. Shame on you for calling yourself a Cleveland sports fan. That is a woman that is legend in this town. And she needs to get the respect that she deserves. Sir or ma'am, however you identify in 2020. It's okay. It's a weird time. What fights do you want to talk about?
What? Okay. Kay Hansen and Corey McKenna. This is really good. Corey McKenna is a Welsh lady. A Welsh lady from Wales. She trains at Alpha Male. You see this fight? This is a good fight. Hello, you there?
Let me pull this up. Yeah, there we are.
That's the next card. That's tomorrow.
Oh, that's the next card. What am I doing?
Yep.
I'm an asshole.
That should be a good fight too, though. You got Cavallo and Kokadian. This should be good. Hi. Now we're zoomed in. Look at this.
Woo!
We're good.
Swing
Either works.
Out.
Okay. Anyway, Corey McKenna, Kay Hansen. Corey McKenna won this fight very close. I don't know. I have to watch it again. When I first watched it, I didn't think McKenna won, but I have to watch it again. Kay Hansen's very good too. They're both going to be here for a minute, man. And they're very young. They're both 21, and they're in the strawweight division.
Yeah, that fight was actually.
It was a good fight. I liked it a lot.
Well, because I was actually about to say they were talking about during the fight that they labeled it as two young guns going at it in their division, and it didn't not live up to the hype for sure. These two at women's strawweight, they were definitely both evenly matched, which was nice. And showed that they were both hungry when they started swinging at each other, just like with reckless abandon. I'm like, oh, we about to see some bitch fighting. I love it.
My favorite thing about this was they talked about Hansen, and she's 21, and this is what they said about her. They said that she was a highly touted softball prospect.
Yeah,
in high school, and in high school as a junior, she had a scholarship offer to play softball at Harvard. Okay, so not only is she playing a sport and get a scholarship, she's getting into Harvard.
Yeah.
Then she decides to drop out of high school and get a GED before she graduates and start training to fight instead. My first thought is, how happy do you think her family is? Holy shit, man. You hear stuff about people going other ways and their family wants them to, but this one, dude, I mean, if they said, okay, do whatever you want, it's your life cool, with her dropping out of high school and not going to college to start fighting, holy crap, good for them. And in that case, I might have been like, man, maybe I don't know. I'm curious to see how hard they push back, because that's a crazy one, man. Because you can always fight afterwards. And you're talking about Harvard, man.
Yeah.
Or at least graduated high school. I mean, that was weird too, right? She didn't even finish high school.
Well, I was about to say, like, my parents would never have let me do that. My parents would have been like, get the fuck in school and shut up.
Right.
Like,
right. I mean, this is probably before she's 18. She made that decision. So yeah, that's a weird one, man. I mean, it looks like it's going to pay off. She's going to make money and have a good living as a fighter for a while. At the same time, she could get into Harvard academically. She could get into any school later on, and I mean, and have go to any school, get a degree, have a good life, whatever. I mean, her not going to Harvard when she was young is going to probably be too big of a deal, really.
Yeah.
So it makes a little bit of sense, but it's really, man, that's a tough sell. That's a really tough, especially when she's getting an athletic scholarship to an Ivy League school. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe think maybe there's a little bit more to that story than what they say, but because it seems a little. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not at all, but that seems, wow, that's a weird one, man. The fact that if that's true, that she actually had a full ride scholarship to play softball at an Ivy League school, Harvard, and she said, "Nah, I'm just going to drop out and start fighting." What? That's nuts. I mean, like I said, it looks like it's going to pay off, man. She's going to be okay, and what makes you happy, but man, that's a tough sell for anybody, man.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, to have her parents give the okay her junior year to start getting, MMA training and all this kind of stuff.
No, let's go after Kay Hansen. That's what we need to do. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean? Let's try to get her on, because that's what I want to talk about. I want a lot of things, but that is really interesting. I want to see what her family thought about the whole thing and what this whole story was. If she wants to talk, if she likes to talk about it, she may not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's an inspiring story of if you put your mind to, you can do anything.
Right.
I mean,
the window's a little different for female fighters. There's a better chance. I mean, you still have to be tough, and you have to be good and very tough to get to the spot where you make some good money. But there's still a different window than there is for any male fighter, even heavyweights, and even heavyweights and whatever different divisions have different windows. Like again, we talk our buddy Andrew Lowe. Yeah, his window is different from his weight class and other weight classes. And if he was a woman, he probably already would be in. If he was, that's the record, and this in that kind of in the talent, whatever. It's it's different. It's different. It's because there's less. Just because there's less. That's because there's less of them. That's the only reason.
And 115 is a stacked division already. Imagine once she gets.
There were less, but that is the most stacked division. Yeah.
Imagine she's 21 now. Imagine what she could be like after going with toe to toe with a Rose or Claudia's in there, right? Claudia Gadelia. Am I thinking that one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Claudia fighting those level fighters deeper into her career, which I think she will. I think that those will be she'll get those opportunities if she continues to fight, and especially with how she was going during the fight. I mean, both women in this fight looked like they were trying to pull each other's hair in front of the bar. I mean, it was really
it was great. I love them both. They're both like two of my favorite people now. They're great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see both their names on cards again because they're good.
Yeah.
And they're going to get better. They're very young. They're 21. They're going to get, they've only been training for, 4 years or whatever. I don't know how many years, but something like that. So they're going to be around a while, man. They may even see each other again, man. I bet they will. Maybe not for a while, but I bet they will. They both, if they're both winning, they're going to fight again.
I would love to see a rematch between these two ladies because
of like 5 years or so.
Yeah.
It'll be a completely different fight, right?
It could be. I mean, that's the thing because Corey McKenna, like her boxing's really good, and she definitely knew how to keep. Yeah.
I had to watch for her interview afterwards with Bisbing because I knew she's gonna have a fun accent. That Welsh accent, man, is something else.
I like it. It's a very different accent than most people. It's kind of weird, but I'm mostly Irish right now. I don't know
that's more Irish, right? It's funny, like Ireland, Scotland, they're not even that far apart. Well, apart from each other, but
Ireland's an
I
island.
almost stopped myself because I mean, our country, and it's around that amount of space. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking of the EU in my head. Anyway, yeah, they're pretty close. I mean, not the EU, the UK, the United Kingdom.
Yeah,
they're pretty close, right? Probably around size of the United States.
Well, here's England. Right? Here would be England. Like, it's like a cake. England,
yeah,
Scotland,
mm-hmm.
And
I was thinking distance between like Washington State and Florida. It's about the same, right? I mean, it's still.
I mean, yeah, but Ireland's its own little island off the coast of England.
Yeah, I know that. I know that too.
And then Wales is
Northern
like
Ireland is connected there. Yeah. But yeah, Northern Ireland is in the UK. Ireland isn't. That's one of the big things with Brexit. It's been Brexit has been a big issue with that, right? What they're going to do with the borders there? They haven't figured that shit out. Anyway, that's
something I wish I could have talked to Sean more about was the IRA. Like Sean Lynch, our friend, go watch the episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
We'll have him well.
We'll get next time we'll be able to watch that video with him.
Yes.
Anyway, of the celebrity deathmatch fight. The point was accents. I mean, we have a lot of different accents in this country, so it's not that weird that they have very many different accents. A lot of different accents in the UK or whatever. But yeah, we have accents in this country that are like day and night.
Yeah,
same country, but completely different. Man, Louisiana, those Cajun accents.
I worked in Denver for one of those like construction shipping places that would get like an order and then you fill it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the home office is out of Louisiana, and the guys that came in, I've experienced the Louisiana accent before, but like you could definitely tell them some good old boys that were working at the for this company, like straight up good old boys. Like they had hard Cajuns.
Isn't it strange how like some of them don't really speak normal English? They speak like that weird. It's Cajun. It's like a garbage French. It's Cajun. Yeah, it's so weird. There
was one place, where was it? Houma, Louisiana, was once described by a guy who was in the wrestling business as so far down our Cajun girls selling merchandise couldn't understand what these fucking people were saying.
Yeah, because they don't speak normal English.
No.
Or they barely speak English at all. Yeah.
Have you ever watched that Gator show that was on History Channel for a while? Gator.
I thought you were going to say Gator the movie. I'm like, yes. Burt Reynolds. Yes. No.
It's the people that are on that show though that hunt the gators like have subtitles underneath them because you can't understand what these fucking lunatics are saying.
Yeah, that's
while they're catching gator.
There's all these. You ever watch the Last Chance U documentaries on Netflix? First couple years when they had the Mississippi kids. There's a lot of those kids like Mississippi. They had to put subtitles. You have no idea what the hell they're saying, man. And they're speaking English, but it's like deep South, Mississippi English.
Oh yeah, dude. My one buddy who is a published sociopsychology professor, and I think he has his doctorate now. Yeah, I think he does. He lived in Mississippi for a while, and the way he described it was just straight up Alabama, like Alabama on steroids. I'm like, get the fuck.
Yeah, I think it's worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
What am I gonna say here? Oh, I want to talk about. Well, first, Alex Morano won, which is good. I'm gonna see if I can get Alex Morano on.
That would be awesome.
Because, like I told you, my uncle used to sponsor him. So if I just get the name of, I can't remember the name of his company. I'm gonna see if maybe I'll talk to my uncle first, but see if I can get Alex.
Yeah, he had a really good showing.
Name drop. Yeah, he looked good.
Really good showing. Won by decision in the third round, or won by decision against Reese McKee. That was a good fight. That was actually a really good fight. We were talking through that whole. We were texting each other during that fight.
He looked really good. Also, I wanted to talk about this Kanako Murata lady with her strawweight win against Brandon Marcos. That was her first fight in the UFC, I believe, and she looks very good. She's tough. She's going to be good. She's going to be another one. Is going to be good in that strawweight division. Wouldn't mind to see her fight that McKee lady. Yeah, the girl. Yeah, McKenna. Excuse me, McKenna. That would be a good fight, I think. Anyway, I want to talk about Brandon Marcos.
Yes,
because she's like a 500 fighter now, man. But the thing about her is she can. At any given fight, you think she has a shot. She has wins against I think Juliana Pena should be Gedalia.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
She's beat tough people. She just I guess what I'm saying is I'm curious. I don't know why I haven't looked see. I should double check right now. See if they did anything with her yet, because I'm afraid they might cut her.
I mean, she hasn't really had that good of showings recently, dude. Like, she's had wins, but
she still fights everybody tough. But the thing is, if she was in the flyweight bantamweight division, or especially the featherweight division, because that's pretty shallow, she probably, I would think for sure, there's no way she's going to get cut.
No, I could definitely see her going on an eye run for sure. A Jessica eye run at 125.
But yeah, that's the thing. We should move up because she's in the most stacked division they have. But she's tough and she's beat tough people. And I feel like, especially they keep giving her to the younger fighters, man. That's a really tough fight for anybody. So what I'm saying is, this is my campaign for them to keep her. I don't know what's going on. I hope they keep her because I think she's tough. She just, she just fights tough people and she has some losses, but she always looks tough. She always looks tough.
Yeah, we'll see what the UFC does with her. I mean, that's the thing. Man,
you have to remember, sir, Matt Brown was one loss away from being cut a long time ago. Long before when he fought, I think it was Cope or Cote? Cope. His name was Cope. Chris Cope, I think. He fought Chris Cope, and if he would have lost to Chris Cope, he would have been gone. I mean, for sure. He was close to 500. He would have been gone. But he started turning the corner right there, and then he beat Cope. And then that next fight, he beat Stephen Thompson. Then after that, he starts knocking dudes out. Who else did he fight? Dude with the mullet. Mike Pyle, other guys. He starts crushing people. He gets the Robbie Lawler fight. Like, he started going on a run, man, and he's still there.
Yeah.
But he was this close. One fight away, he would have been done. He would have been gone if he lost to Chris Cope.
And I mean, that's the power of the UFC right there, too, and MMA in general, is you do have those fighters. And I think give Randa one more shot. Give her somebody that she can at least, go after, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think
Who
do you think is at the bottom of that division? Like, if she can beat those people, then she should be able to stay, right?
Yeah. So I'm not sure who's at the lower end of that division.
No, but give her one of those. Or one of the newbies, and if she can fight with them or beat them, then there she goes. She's good. The thing is, I don't know. There may be plenty of room for her. I don't know. I mean, every time I see her name, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a decent fight. Marcos is going to fight tough. She always does.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like I see her, I'm like, oh, she's going to get crushed by somebody. I think maybe she'll get beat, but she's going to put on a good showing.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Also, I don't know who's knocking on the door. And with COVID, if there are fighters that are in any division that are close to knocking on the door, they can't get any closer because they can't fight anywhere. There's nowhere for them to fight, or very little places for them to fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one thing that Dana White said in the Contender Series Tuesday is he's nervous about going into the next season of the the Contender Series, because there's very little promotions going on, especially for pro fighters, right? Because they have to pay pro fighters, and if they can't have crowds, they can't make money. He's like, there's not going to be a lot of shows, so there aren't a lot of places for these guys to fight, right? To go up the ranks, right? To get to the point where they are worthy of a chance to get a Contender Series fight or a UFC chance of any kind. So he said he's going to have to sign more promotions to Fight Pass, which if he does that, I guess that means, it gives him some capital to roll the dice a little bit.
I would hope, man, and I'd love to see more. I would love to see some like local organizations even get on UFC Fight Pass. I think that would be.
You probably have to be a pro only, though. I mean, you might, like I said, I don't know how much to get for those contracts, but it'll probably give them some capital to have some leeway to do that, and maybe with that capital, if they can break even. I mean, I think people would do it if they could break even, if they wouldn't lose money, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. I think that's what I want to talk tomorrow with Andrew and Brogan about. It's like, what would you do? Like, what would your solution be right now if you want to try to get people to fight? What's the best guess? I've been thinking of some ideas. I don't think any of them are good, but just enough to talk about. I
think they should start their own D League. Like,
well, the thing is, you still have to pay all the money for the commission or whatever, no matter what.
Yeah.
If it's just amateur fights, you'd have to have you have to get a license, and you have to pay for fight, and you have to pay so much for every fight you have in a card. So it's all of that. Even if it's amateur, even if you're not paying the fighters because they're amateur, you still have to pay the commission all this money. They have to pay for judges and refs and whatnot. I don't know what it's all together. Even if the commissions like worked with you a little bit to have fights going, you still would almost impossible to even break even, probably.
Yeah. Fight game's fun, isn't it, brother?
Oh, it's depressing now, man. See what that promoter who promotes Terrence Crawford said? He's talking shit about how he keeps losing money off Crawford, and then Dana White called him, I think, a piece of expletive, which obviously means piece of ass.
Yeah, and boxing promoters in general have always just been shit people to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
I mean, that's something. Look at the promoters that dealt with Joe Louis back in the day. Look at the guys who took advantage.
Everybody, Ali, geez, everybody.
Well, I was about to say Ali, but that was the last part of that was all Don King. Like the way down.
Yeah, but he's a promoter. So
I'm aware, but you can squarely blame that. A lot of the promoters back in the old days, you really couldn't, because there were so many managers that were underneath them and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Back when the mob, ran boxing, which I'm glad that they don't, but I'm kind of sad that they don't anymore. Because
that's, man, you know what? That's one thing, man. We need to start getting people who have written books about the history of boxing.
Yes.
We should see if we can get some of the writers on.
Yeah.
Number one, at least one of us would have to read the book, which I'm not. I don't love reading books. I get the audio book. I can get.
Yeah, I'd probably get the audio book as well.
But yeah, no, if we book them, I will listen to the audio book before they come on for sure.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good idea too, because I am really interested in the history of boxing, and the boxing history is so long and so old, right? So there's so much, so it's, very rich history. So there's a lot of really great stuff in there, and I'm sure there's a lot of really great books. So I guess you got to find that first, right? You got to find the authors, and then see what they're talking about, and then we'll see if we can get any of them on. Yeah,
I mean, that's something I would love to do, and really kind of make this place also a history piece as well.
Oh, dude, there's all different ways we can go. It's really cool. Even though we have this podcast has a theme, and we did break from the theme last interview a little bit, but not too much. It was still a little bit.
We can have whoever we want on here.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
We can do that. But even if we stay with the theme, there's a lot of ways we can go. But we're still going to have comics on. We're going to have comics on.
Yeah.
But yeah, all kinds of different ways we can go. But yeah, just for the history of boxing. Oh, a self-proclaimed historian of boxing is Frank Stallone. See, that's like I would love to have Frank Stallone.
I would love to have Frank Stallone on and play some of his music while we did it.
Yeah, in the background, just far from over on repeat. This is the end. If we ever got Frank Stallone, we'd have to have Sean Blanchard with us because he's a big Frank Stallone fan as well.
Dude, and also I have to say this. We were mentioning South Park, and it slipped my mind, but I did want to bring this up, and it made me think of you. You talk about your love of barbershop quartets and a cappella singing and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir. I know what you're talking about.
There's an episode of South Park where to distract an old lady or a bunch of old people, they create an a cappella group, but they do modern songs, which is I was listening to the whole thing.
Like they're old for them, right? Because they're fourth graders, right? So it's old for them. So it's like Nirvana. They do "Rape Me." It's so good. I thought it was hilarious. Any barbershop quartet humor, like Jimmy, the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, they had a bit for a while with barbershop quartets, and they'd have like some people on their staff. 80 Miles was one of them that they did a quartet with, and then they'd have their guests, like Kevin Spacey did one. I forget who else. I think Timberlake probably. I forget who else they had, but a couple of them. It was pretty funny.
I'll have to check that out.
I love a good barbershop quartet bit. I have an idea for a sketch about barbershop quartet. I have for years, and I just haven't put my mind to it really because multiple people have told me they want to make it, and I'm lazy and I haven't figured it out yet. So
you son of a bitch!
I know it's about people who used to be in a metal band, like realizing they can't play instruments, so they just start a barbershop quartet, like four defunct metal bands. Former lead singers make a barbershop quartet together. Yeah,
that's awesome. My friend, I think it is time for us to call it a night.
I think it is. This actually went longer than I thought because I'm like, dude, to go through these fights, it's gonna take us a half hour. But I forget that we have ADD and
we go off on tangents, and that's the beauty of the Bro Bro Plata.
Let's read all the comments we had first. First, we have, and that was the comments.
Yes, thank you to all of our no commenters for not commenting on our stuff. We appreciate your not so there feedback a lot, and hopefully
tomorrow we'll probably have somebody on. So
we're gonna try and have Brogan Enders and Andrew Law, or one or the other. Thank you
to Brogan Enders, man.
Yeah, we need Brogan on because
poor guy. He had a fight coming up, and his opponent got hurt.
Yeah,
we're still having him on though if he wants to come on. I told him it's up to him. I'm like, we'll find shit to talk about.
And I think we need to start a challenge if we have both of them on, where Andrew has been taken over by Brogan Enders for our most listened episode so far, and I want to see who gets the most comments tomorrow if they're both on. So leave a comment when you're watching this episode. If you do, we appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Ask them questions. We'll make them answer.
Yes, we ask questions. Leave those in the comment, or leave those on our wall at Bro Bro Plata, BROBRO PLATA. And you can check out all of our content on YouTube, Twitch. Believe we have a Twitch viewer today, which was fun. If that's not Tim Danko, because if it's not, we have one person watching, and I appreciate you. We appreciate you more than life itself. The fact that you're here, share it. Share their shows with the world. Help us get our world together of Bro Bro Plata, and we love doing it.
And to steal a line, as I've done before, from the great Part of the Interruption. We'll be better next time.
Yes, we will. Thank you guys for watching.
I like that line. I wish I would have thought of it. It's a good
yes, son of a bitch, you.
But yes, I will always credit them when I say it. We will be in it better next time.
Thank you guys for watching the Bro Bro Plata. We will see you tomorrow for a live stream. Tim, tell them the time of the live stream so they can set reminders for it.
Right now it's 2:00, right? Unless we change it.
2 p.m.
I do know that's I do know that's Mid-Ohio State football game. Okay, so I don't blame you for not watching it live if you're watching that, because I'm going to take a break myself from that game to do this. So,
well,
but that's to be, we wanted to get it done before the fight start, because Ray then has to drive like an hour and a half.
Yes,
come down here.
I'll be there by probably the first prelim. So we will go from there. We will have a fun time tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. And we will see you at the Kumite, motherfuckers.